My name is Stella and welcome to my channel. This is my vlog where I am documenting week by week my process of organising and getting ready for my massive project next year in 2022, which is to travel from the west coast of Canada to the east coast, take only one international flight across the water to Europe, where I will eventually make my way to France for a month-long residency, and then continue to tour from there, the whole while travelling by as many modes of transport as possible that allow me to leave as small a footprint as possible. A lot of it's going to be cycling. Well, I got another 40k in one cycle this week. I went out yesterday. Yesterday was so cold. It was so cold. It had snowed a few days before, and I thought I was dressed warm enough for it. I landed somewhere between dressing for summer and dressing for winter. So my top half was decent, my bottom half was not okay. So it was a very long 3 hours and 40 kilometre cycle, but we made it. I'm going to go out for another cycle tomorrow in Calgary as well, which will probably be another 40 kilometres, which will get me up to 80 for the week, which is the highest so far. And this weekend I'm going to register for the Drayton Valley 100, and there's a lot of different tiers that you can apply to take part in. It's a cycling race through Drayton Valley in Alberta, and you can choose the 100 kilometre or 160 kilometre one. So I'm going to have a look at that website today and see what's most realistic. I'll probably go for the biggest one going. That's the second person this week who's mentioned that to me. I was out for a cycle last weekend and we happened across a woman who has been through a load of different cycling groups in Edmonton, and she knew about this and she told myself and one of my riding partners to check it out. So that's wicked. So that's two new riding partners now that are going to be training for that. It's in September. So we're going to be training to be able to knock out multiple 100 kilometre cycles throughout late summer on the run up to that. I thought it was just like a cycle, a long distance cycle, but apparently it's a race. So I'm going to try and do some training for racing as well, because why not? There's that. I also got talking to somebody today about making a documentary. That documentary is going to be more of a pitch to everybody. It'd be great to have a videographer, documentary filmmaker along with me on the trip as well, because I'm not going to want to turn the camera on myself when I'm lost and crying and late for a gig and everything's going to shit. So someone else should be there to capture that, because I'm not going to do it and you're never going to see that otherwise. I also went and researched interrailing in Europe, and this is something that has been around forever, and a lot of kids in Ireland, when you graduate high school, that's the done thing to do, or like during your summer during university you go off interrailing through Europe, and it's basically a rail pass that gets you access to up to 30 different countries in Europe, and you have a time limit, just like every train ticket pass thing, to use up a certain amount of stops at. And it's a great way to travel through Europe. So I reached out to them this week on the suggestion of a friend, in fact, who reminded me that a lot of schemes like that tend to be age specific, like the J1 visa for Irish students, college students generally. To get over to the States for a summer, you can go for up to a year. On the J1 visa, that cuts you off after the age of 30. So I was very afraid there was going to be a cut off. But to my delight, I found a senior's pass for interrailing. So I'm good. So I'm delighted on that. There's a 2-month pass with interrailing that gets you 15 stops. I also reached out to them to ask about travelling with a bicycle. There are particular rails that accommodate that and others that don't. So I'll just take a bit more planning. I don't know if I told you, but a friend of mine is also in the process of renovating and flipping his white white transit van so that he can take it to music festivals and stuff next summer. So it's all insulated, and it's going to have like a bed in there, and it's going to have a place you can store your bicycles because he's a huge cycling freak as well. And so perhaps we may link up at some point through Europe. That would be so great. So there's that to look forward to. I got a press release from the artist residency as well to help me put a pitch together for a company we're going to pitch to. I say we. This is all related to the other part of the thing that I said in week one that I didn't really want to talk about too much in case it wasn't a thing yet. So it seems to be a bit of a thing. So I'm having weekly meetings with somebody to discuss how to build this and bring other people in on it. So it's very vague, I know, but we're working on it. That's what I've got so far. It's been a good week. Got some cycling in, still working on the record. So excited for it. There's some really great stuff happening on it. So hopefully I'll be able to release that full record somewhere along the trip next year. I also just played a great show tonight with, I didn't play the show, I emceed a show for Goodnight Sunrise and Sky Wallace on Zoom through Side Door, and it was so much fun, so much fun. So I can't wait for live shows to come back. Oh my God. If you would like me to come and play your house for a house concert, either this summer or next summer during this big massive trip, please reach out at ostella.com, and I am taking bookings for this summer, and then you can select the location and date for next year's trip shortly once I have finished building that itinerary. So don't forget to subscribe and like to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you get notified of other videos like this I'll be posting every week to keep you up to date on how everything is going and the trials and tribulations associated with it. If you would like to support this crazy venture, I would love to have you as part of the fan family. You can check it out at ostella.com and join the fan club there. There's loads of really tasty things, especially because of this album coming up. There's loads of fun stuff in there. So I will see you next week for another installment.